Welcome to Shortlist Pro. This is a PeopleMaps platform to help you build shortlists of candidates very quickly and very effectively. And this is a quick demo. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to actually take you to the control room and show you how it works. But before I do that, the first thing I want to do is actually explain very briefly why our customers asked us to invent Shortlist Pro. And this was based on lots and lots of customers talking to us over the years, and we listened to that and we actually created a solution to solve some very specific problems. So let me tell you exactly the kind of problems that Shortlist Pro will solve for you. And you may have one or all of these problems. The first thing is, of course, processing large numbers of applications. Well, it's really time consuming, it's very difficult, and it can be a big pain in the neck. Well, Shortlist Pro can take what might have taken you a week to process literally down to a couple of minutes. So instead of having to look at dozens and dozens and read dozens and dozens of applications, we can literally get you down to the shortlist in a matter of minutes. It's as quick as that. Huge time saving. The other reason you'd use it is if all the CVs that you get, all the applications look very similar. This was a situation that you get in, for instance, in graduate recruitment. We had this with Toyota many years ago, and as part of the software graduate recruitment program. And of course, all the graduates went to similar universities, or one or two universities, and had pretty much the same qualifications. So their CVs all looked the same. Well, if that's a scenario that you're faced with on a regular basis, then Shortlist Pro is exactly what you need, because it gives you additional data that isn't available in any CV that you can use to help decide if they're going to actually be able to do the job that you have. Another very common scenario is that you're giving people their first job, which pretty much means that they either don't have a CV, or at least there's nothing on it but a swimming badge, or if they do have a CV, it's probably irrelevant to the kind of work that you're doing because they're making a big career change. But if it's people's first job, then you usually don't have much data to work with, and that means you have to talk to everybody, and it can be a big pain in the neck. Shortlist Pro will really allow you to do this better and differently. Another thing is, if experience and qualifications are really not that essential, so the type of job, and in America these might be called sort of blue-collar type jobs. The UK, I'm not sure what our expression is for that, but we certainly have a lot of jobs. I'm thinking of things like hospitality, customer service, even sales, all sorts of jobs, huge numbers of them, where experience and qualifications are not really the thing that we use to judge and measure these, and they generally are not essential or not available. But that's the kind of area you work in. Well, again, Shortlist Pro is really what you need there. And of course, if you have a job where personality, the actual human, is really important in the job role, it's much more important than other factors like qualifications or work experience. Who the person is matters, and if that's the scenario you find yourself in, then Shortlist Pro is exactly what you're needing. So this is why we invented Shortlist Pro. It really is unique. There is no other system like it. It's the only system on the planet where the personality profiling is actually integrated into the candidate application process, and the filtering process and the shortlisting process is all built in. So what does Shortlist Pro do? What is it in a nutshell? Well, it's an end-to-end job application process. So we give you a unique URL that you can put in your job adverts, or you email or send to your candidates, and that's the beginning of the application process. You ask whatever questions you would want in your application process, and integrated as part of that, it's not optional, it's a completely mandatory integrated part, is the personality assessment. Now, of course, the PeopleMaps assessment is very short, takes between 5 and 7 minutes to complete, so candidates don't mind, yet it delivers incredibly accurate results. It processes large numbers if you have them, and that's not the only reason. I say there are some people that would use this who don't have huge numbers, but for most people we tend to be helping them with larger numbers of applications, because the processing of those is simply laborious and time consuming and ineffective. So Shortlist Pro was designed really to do that, and it lets you build a fantastic shortlist based on really useful data, and it allows you to do it in a matter of minutes what would normally take you days. It lets you build a shortlist using hand-picked aspects of personality as your primary decision and predictor of performance. So normally speaking, traditionally, people only use personality as profiling at the very end of the process, so you only use it in the last people that you interview. Well, unfortunately, that's not always the best way, and what you want to know for many people is their personality right at the beginning, because it matters for the various reasons that we talked about earlier. So what you want to look at here is a system that can actually, we will help you identify aspects of personality that we can measure that really matter to you in this job role, and you use that as your predictors of performance. Okay, let's go over and look at how this actually works. I'm going to take you into the control room. I think you're really going to be amazed at how much this very easy to use this system. So let me very quickly run you through the Shortlist Pro control room. And first thing you'll see, it's very easy to use. You essentially have this view users and read reports, and it's as simple as that. So first thing you will see is the URL. This is unique to you, unique to this account, and that's what you send to all your candidates, and that's where the beginning of the job application process actually starts. And let's say this can be customized, so it has your name included within it, and what the candidate gets is this. So you can put this link in your job advert, or you email it to people, whatever stage you decide you want them to begin the job application process properly. Of course, your logo can go at the top of the page, and this message here on the right hand side, you have complete control over what this will say. So you decide what you want to say to your new candidates. The personality assessment is integrated, it's part of the job application. It's not possible to apply for the job without completing the personality assessment questionnaire, but the questionnaire is very cleverly designed. It delivers incredibly accurate results, but it will do it in it takes the average job applicant between 5 and 7 minutes to complete this personality questionnaire. So, and then at the end of the questionnaire, you get to ask whatever other questions you want to include in your application, and we'll go and talk about that now. So once a candidate completes it and registers, they're obviously asked their name and their email address, but you can ask whatever else you want in this, what we call custom fields and questions. So this is an example of questions that you might want to ask. You know, their postcode, do they have their own transport, you know, do they have any work experience, how many years work experience, anything that you feel you would include in a job application process questions, then you can include here. You simply just tell us what you want to ask, and you can include, you know, yes, no questions, radio buttons, or text box. So you can do all sorts of formats for your questions. And then we come to the really clever bit, which is completely and utterly unique to Shortlist Pro. It's the only system in the world which actually allows you to shortlist candidates based on aspects of their personality. So what we do is we will provide you, when you tell us the job description and we understand what you're trying to do, we provide you with a big list of personality aspects that you can look at and consider. Now we shortlist this down to 7, and that 7 is purely because we have to present all of this data in the one table. So you can see that that gets pretty busy quite quickly. So we restrict the number of questions that you ask the candidate and the number of personality topics we use, purely so that it can fit into a table and make it manageable. However, 7 is plenty, and it's probably even more than you need. Sometimes 2 or 3 might be all you need to help you create your shortlist. Now remember, that's what we're doing here. We're not actually conducting an interview or making the hire, we're creating the shortlist. So once everybody completes the application form, they appear in this table. So you get to view all the candidates side by side together in the one table, which is fantastic because it makes it really quick and easy to look through. So you can glance through a column and see, right, there no, there yes. I'm only looking for yeses, so you can ignore the no's. Or you can come over here to the personality, and you might be just looking for people who score high in certain topics. So this one here, for instance, scored 96. And this topic is prepared to write detailed sales activity reports. So if that's really important to you, then you're looking for people who score high in that, which means that they're naturally very good at that. That's just something that they do. They don't need to really work on that. They're always going to be able to deliver that. So now you can see at a glance the kind of people that you want to ask. So this one's a 96, this one's a 39. And if this is one of the topics that you're using to help you predict performance, then you're probably not going to pick the 39 whilst you've got a 96 on your list. So quite simply then, tick on the box. You've looked through the various criteria, you decide why you're shortlisting them, and you decide, right, I want to shortlist this person. You click on the box, you go down to the bottom, and you can tick as many as you like, and you add them to the shortlist. And it asks you if you want to confirm that. Are you sure? Yes, we are. Thank you very much. And now you can click on View Shortlist, and you'll see the candidates that you have now added to your shortlist. And you've always got a reminder of which topics you're using, although you'll see that they highlight come up here. And similarly, you can see what other questions you've asked. So CF5, you can see there's CF5 here, but you can also see it here as well. So it's always, you've always got that ready check as to what questions you did ask. And now you're looking at your shortlist. So by rights, all of these people should be a contender. Now you can still remove them from the shortlist if you think, okay, I've looked through this on second thoughts, let's not include this person here. And you would go down to here and you would just archive them. So they're basically in your archive and out of your kind of active list. So if you look back again, you'll see you're back to just the two. Now, if you decide, right, we're ready to interview, we've decided on the shortlist, then you simply click on their name and you'll be taken to view all of their details. And when you click on View Now, it looks like this. So what you see is the name and the contact details of the person, all the answers that they gave to in their fields. So these are all the other questions that you would have asked, that you wanted to ask. And you can see at a glance all the personality scores down here. And the interview guide report, well, that will be if you've decided to use an interview guide report, which is a personality report designed specifically to interview candidates for this specific role. Well, that's an option. You might decide against that. You might just say, well, that's enough for me and I just want their details, and that's fine. But if you do go for the interview guide, and I would strongly recommend that, because the scores only tell you an indicative, which direction, what way up your list should look. But it's the interview guide personality report which really tells you about the candidate. So this is, for instance, talking about motivation and this candidate, and it tells you how this candidate's motivated. It gives you questions to ask about motivation, what you should look for the answers. So all of the detailed stuff that you would want to know about candidates you're actually interviewing is included here. But I say this is optional, so if you're happy with just the basics, just get into the shortlist and then you'll deal with it from there, well, that's absolutely fine too. So that's essentially a couple more things I would maybe show you, which would be, let's see if we go back to, as I say, there's lots of advanced features, but the thing is that we will actually, you just tell us what you want to ask, you give us your logo, we will set everything up for you. So you don't really need to worry about how to do anything, we will set everything up. So all you need to do is do what I've just shown you here. At the top, if you do have a candidate with a specific name or a specific email address, then you just enter that here and the system will find them. If you're just looking for people, say you want to look at all the people you've archived or all the shortlists that you archived, then you can just click here. If you want to find people that register between one date and another, which is a very useful feature if you're doing this on an ongoing basis and you just want to look at people that registered, say, today, then you can do that. So when you're dealing with large numbers of applications, this is the kind of stuff you really need. That's more or less it. As you say, it does some very clever stuff, but it's very easy to use. You'll be up and running in a matter of minutes. We do all the setup, all the configuration, everything you need is all done for you. You just need to let us know what it is, tell us your job description, and we'll be able to make recommendations on questions, and more importantly, on the personality topics that you should really be looking at.